Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert, and on this channel we talk Kanye West. And today we are talking kind of a smattering of things. We have an update of where in the world Kanye is, Belgium, who he's with, Matthew Williams, who is said that he's co-producing Playboi Carti's album with, and you might be like, huh, who is he? Well, we have all the details on that. It turns out these two go back 13 years. And I think he's a longtime collaborator that doesn't get talked about enough in relation to Kanye. Articles do, but I think in the Kanye fandom, you don't really hear him talked about as much as like Virgil Abloh, right? But he is very influential, I think, much in the way that Virgil has been. So we'll talk about Williams. And you can see that What's Up Ever saying it seems like they're doing some Yeezy Gap. A few of Kanye's film and Yeezy team are also there. So we're going to talk about Yeezy Gap as well and where that's at. So first, let's look at Matthew Williams. So Williams is not a music producer by any means, but What's Up Ever saying that he is co-producing Playboi Carti's album with, which is kind of a huge deal in and of itself, right? A Whole Lotta Red has been highly anticipated for a while, and Kanye's involvement is really only recent. We knew that he had a verse on the album, but him actually, wow, I'm so bright, him actually being the executive producer of the album just kind of came out of nowhere this month. And the album's supposed to drop Christmas Day on the 25th. So even though we're not getting, it seems, a Kanye album in 2020, we are getting this Kanye produced album, which Kanye had been trying to executive produce everybody's album. He tried to executive produce 2 Chainz's album, St. John's album. I'm sure he tried to executive produce Ty Dolla $ign's album at some points. And here he finally succeeded with getting Playboi Carti on board, which might explain all the delays. But that album is something to look forward to. So Matthew Williams, you can see he's the Givenchy creative director. So much in the same way that Virgil Abloh went from being a longtime Kanye collaborator to being the head of Louis Vuitton, you have Williams here who has risen up from Kanye collaborator to head or creative director of a major fashion house. And these are the photos that What's Up Ever had talked about. I view this as like a minimalist selfie, and I feel like it's the invention of the minimalist selfie. So you just have the upper half of the face outside of the frame, right? Whether it's at the top, bottom, sides, and that's how you take a minimalist selfie. So get on board with the trend. It's going to be all the rage, and you can credit Williams and Kanye for the invention of it. You know, always innovators. But you can see that they're in this like big space, decaying walls. It reminds me almost of the I Feel Like That building, right? If you've ever watched the I Feel Like That music video. But you can see Yeezy Gap clothes laid out here, Kanye kind of looking down at him, looking pretty fly in that color palette, right? And also tagged in this photo is Axel Vervote. And Axel is a legendary designer who Kanye is head over heels for. Axel actually helped Kanye and Kim design their house. They took a lot of inspiration from him, and Kanye sought a lot of advice, mentorship, friendship from Axel over the years. They did an interview with each other a few years back that was really good, which I'll find the link and put it down in the info if you want to read the interview between the two of them. But it wasn't like an interviewer interviewing them. It was just them having a conversation and going back and forth, which was incredibly fascinating. But Axel is a big Kanye fan, so the fact that he's probably there in Belgium, I know he's in Europe, but I can imagine that's one of the reasons Kanye went out there, was to show Axel the clothes. And you can see that his page is just filled with aesthetic. Like, it's just full aesthetic. Beautiful photos, nature, like art pieces. You can learn a lot just about style and taste from following Axel on Instagram. So we have that and this layout, and you can see here, don't need that. First look at Kanye's Yeezy Gap collection from Just Fresh Kicks. This was back in October of 2020, and you can see there's this advertisement here. The first deal was first announced back in June, right? And talked about that it would go online starting in 2021. And we're getting close to that. There were rumors for a little bit that it might come sooner, that it's going to drop in 2020 near the end of the year, and the album's going to come out with it. I think clearly that's not the case, but we can see from Kanye bringing clothes to Atlanta, some more things going on behind the scenes with models in Atlanta, and now him taking a bunch of clothes out to Belgium. for some photo shoots or for Axel to look at and Matthew to look at. It just seems like we're getting closer to that debut. I remember somebody on Twitter, I can't remember the name, very sorry about that, but they listened to the Gap earnings call, and it was talked about that Yeezy Gap was going to appear in January or February. So I think that's still the time frame. Though if it's Q1 2021, then I guess January, February, or March are the only available months in Q1. But that's kind of the expectation now. So we're within that 3-month range of these actually debuting. And you can see in this sheet there's a lot of repetition, but we're just getting foam runners, a jacket, pants, hoodie, a shirt, boots, and another jacket? No, a bag. That's a bag. So I wonder if it's just like these are the core 8 items and we're just going to have a bunch of different colorways of those things. Like you can kind of see the hoodie and the pants there and just a ton of colors. But it actually would be really exciting. I don't know if this is a placeholder price and it's just part of the initial mock-up or if the price is going to change. But if everything really is $50, that would be such a huge win for fans and just fashion people and just Gap in general to have clothes of this quality and look produced by Kanye that are coming out of that price point. That'd be fantastic. But getting into Williams, you can see that Playboy Cardi here, the subreddit last year, started talking about who Matt is. And you can see Matt is Matthew Williams. He is a designer and he created Alex. A lot of people asking who Matt is. And why is he relevant to Cardi? And it's just Matt. So it seems like he and Cardi probably started working together sometime in 2019. And you can see that Matthew Williams at Givenchy released this capsule collection and Cardi was modeling it with a very intense modeling photo, right? He's bringing the energy. And Cardi is no beginner when it comes to modeling. He met Kanye, I think, or Kanye first used him or they first collaborated back when Cardi was modeling Yeezy Season 4, Yeezy Season 5 in 2015, 2016. So even though Kanye and Cardi haven't made music together to this point, they have been working together or have been in each other's universes since 2015, 2016. So it seemed almost inevitable with how big Cardi has gotten in the hip hop world that they would collaborate on music at some points. And this is finally that point. But Williams using Cardi for fashion, it seems like their collaboration has spilled over from just that into music itself. And getting into some of Williams' background, finally, you can see here, born in 1985, 35 years old, so a little 8 years younger than Kanye, who was born in 77. But you can see that despite being rejected from Parsons School of Design, Williams landed a job as a production manager and began to learn the business of running a clothing label. I took my first steps as a designer by designing stage costumes, and I first became interested in fashion through the clubbing scene in Los Angeles. I like the idea of transforming, of being a stage character for one night. So in 2007, Kanye West stylist asked Williams to design a jacket for his Grammy Awards performance with Daft Punk, which you may remember what that looked like. It's this legendary LED jacket that hopefully you've seen photos of at some point. And I'll link the Grammy performance down below, but it's such an awesome look. So Williams was actually part of designing this look, which is a pretty great way to kick off your career. So Williams helped design a jacket with embedded LEDs. Impressed by the 21-year-old's creativity, West asked Williams to join his team. Williams eventually moved from costume design for West to art directing videos and setting up the studio for West's first fashion brand, Pastel, which there's actually a huge Complex article that's I think one of the best articles Complex has written that goes over the entire history of Pastel, which I'll also link that. I forgot to pull that up, but really worth digging into, and I'm sure has a bit more about Williams in it because it's like thousands of words about Pastel, as well as the creative content company Donda. So in 2012, ties with West led to the formation of art and DJing collective Bin Trill, made up of Heron Preston, Virgil Abloh, and Justin Saunders, and Williams, who described it as really just a fun thing to do. So he goes from that to creating Alex, to working with Dior and Nike, Moncler, and in June 2020, Williams was appointed creative director of Givenchy collections for women and men. So quite the glow up from just like creating a jacket for Kanye from having an entire career spawn from that moment. And there's an article here from a few months ago. He looks a little bit more intense there. You can see the difference. Like, this is 2 years ago, so maybe it's just like the hairstyle and lighting makes a difference. But here he looks like Michael Shannon, like the really intense guy in all of his movie roles. And then here he just looks like your friendly guy that would have liked clubbing in Los Angeles, right? But scrolling down a little bit, you can see that they say Williams left his role to work with Kanye West in 2010, first helping develop West's first clothing brand Pastel, then serving as art director for Donda, West's creative agency. So that was his role at Donda, was art director. And then Alex article has a little bit more. So Williams also worked with the late Alexander McQueen, who Kanye is a huge fan of as well as Kanye West. I'm working with West, Williams said in an interview with Dazed. Kanye is number one. He is the person that gave me my first break. I created a suit jacket for him to wear to the Grammys when I was 21, and he asked me what I did. And I told him I was working at this clothing brand. He then asked me how much I got paid, to which I replied, nothing. And he said, okay, I'm going to give you double nothing to come work with me, which is such a Kanye thing to say, right? Getting paid nothing? All right, I'll give you double nothing. The next day I was on a plane with him to Japan. I owe him everything. He's been an amazing friend and mentor. So here you can see, I'm guessing that's Heron, Virgil, and Matthew. And then right here, Kanye's favorite Alex bag is now available to pre-order. So Kanye gave a little bit of a glow up to Alex Studios when Williams founded it by just wearing this bag that's, I think, helped get the group off the ground. And I'm sure looking at Instagram, they probably have a ton of followers. Yeah, 785,000 followers. And now they're doing these collaborations with Nike, which just like crazy looking shoe, right? Jeez. But the whole brand now. Which, funny, like Virgil Abloh has his like off-white Nikes, and now you have Williams doing like these kind of Nikes, which I think I might like these a little better. They're kind of cool. Okay, so that's what Alex looks like. So that's who Kanye's working with on Playboi Carti's album, and just somebody else that Kanye has really helped launch in terms of just changing the fashion industry and running a major fashion house. So that's really cool. And we'll see what's going on with the Playboi Carti album. We are exactly a week away from Christmas and from the album dropping. So when it does come out, I actually don't know if I'll be able to make a video on it because it's Christmas, but I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. But that's it for this video. If you're enjoying the channel and you want to support us, the easiest way is to like, comment, subscribe. All of those things tell YouTube this is a channel people enjoy, and they show it to more people, which goes a long way. We also have our podcast, Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West, where we go line by line, track by track, album by album through Kanye's discography. It is, I think, the largest or most in-depth lyrical analysis of Kanye West, maybe even any musician to date. Not to like brag too much, but we do an intense deep dive. It's definitely the largest academic undertaking of Kanye's lyricism and albums that's ever been done. So if you want to give that a listen, we're going through the discography for a second time. Our College Dropout episodes are currently available on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, wherever you listen to podcasts. And the rest of our archive is available on our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Kanye Podcast. But our late registration episodes will be coming to the public feed very soon, so you can look forward to those. But I think if you listen to the College Dropout season, you're definitely going to get some insights that you've never had on the album before. You're going to hear songs and be like, what? I never thought about it that way. Wow, I love this song even more. Thank you, Chris and Travis. I'll be like, you don't have to thank us. Just, keep listening. That's it. Until next time, stay wavy and keep it loopy. Cheers.